Hey everybody, welcome back to TQM Travels. Well, sort of. As you can see, I am still home at my office right now, but in a couple of days I'm going to be flying out on my next trip to go visit some national parks in Washington and Wyoming. It should be a pretty exciting trip. I'm going to be meeting up with family and friends out there, and we have plenty of challenges and fun activities planned for this trip, so do be sure to be subscribed to the channel and hit that notification bell so you can be notified when those episodes come out. Now, if you're familiar with my channel, you'll know that I'm an aspiring travel photographer, and in 2019, I went on a trip very similar to this one coming up. I traveled with Lisa's sister Becca to various national parks in Utah and Arizona, and for that trip, I had all of my camera gear packed in this. This is my Lowepro ProTactic 450 AW. Now, this really is a great camera bag. As you can see, it's pretty sturdy and rugged. If we open the bag up on the inside, you can see that there is a lot of space for different camera gear. The inside of the bag does have all of these customizable dividers, so you can pack all of your camera gear nice and safely without having to worry about it getting damaged. So when I was packing for that trip, I got all of my camera gear, and I mean all of my camera gear, and I was able to fit it all inside of this bag, which is great for extended trips. But for trips where there's a lot of hiking and walking, I had every single one of these pockets filled up with different camera equipment. I had my A7 III in this pocket here, my A6400 in this pocket here. All of the lenses that I own were slid into different pockets, and I didn't have a lot of space though for anything extra, like hiking essentials such as snacks or extra layers of clothing and things like that. All you really have is this little top area up here, and even this slot I was filling with camera gear as well. In fact, on that trip, I actually had to have Becca carry my water bottle and my jacket and other things like that, just because I didn't have any space in this camera bag, because the way I configured it, it's really just good for camera equipment. So after that trip, I had decided to slim down on the amount of camera gear that I bring, just a little bit, and I've also switched to a new bag. Now I'm using this. This is the WANDRD PRVKE 31 liter, and I have really enjoyed using this camera bag as of late. The nice thing about this bag is that it has this roll top up here that's expandable, so I can fit all of my camera stuff in here, as well as hiking essentials in this top portion of the bag, and it's easily separated from most of my camera stuff. So, why don't I walk you through how I'm planning on packing this camera bag. On the outside of the bag, you can see that I have my water bottle tucked into this exterior pocket here, and I have my Manfrotto bee-free tripod clipped into the bottom of the bag using the provided external carry straps that come with the bag. If we flip the bag around to the back, you can also see that I have a Peak Design capture clip here on one of the shoulder straps, and that just allows me to clip one of my cameras onto my shoulder, making it very easy to access while hiking. There's also a little side pocket here where I can clip on my rental car keys and not lose those. And at the top of the bag here, there's a padded pocket that I can keep smaller items like my sunglasses here. Also on the back, there's a small hidden pocket here, and I will oftentimes keep my wallet in here. That way I don't have to worry about accidentally losing it and dropping it from my pants pockets. Now for this trip, I am making a couple of big changes with how I'm approaching photography. First, I am slimming down the amount of lenses that I bring for my digital camera. And also, and really the biggest change that I'm making, is that I'm going to be primarily shooting with a film camera rather than with my digital Sony cameras. My primary camera is going to be this. This is my Minolta X700. I've really enjoyed shooting with this camera over the past couple of months. I've taken it out on a couple of different hiking trips here and there, and I really enjoy the shooting experience with this camera. I like it because it's nice and small and light, and it's pretty compact, especially when compared to my big digital cameras. And the lenses for the camera are also nice and small and light. I have 3 lenses for this camera that I'll be bringing with me. I have this, which is my 50mm f1.7 lens. I also have a Minolta 28mm f2.8 lens and a Minolta 135mm f3.5 lens. Now, along with my Minolta, I'm also planning on bringing my Canonet QL17. This is a nice little rangefinder film camera that has a fixed 40mm f1.7 lens, and I've used this camera on and off for a couple of years now, and I really enjoy using it as well. Now, I can't just stop and talk about the film cameras that I'm planning on bringing, because honestly, the film that you're shooting on is one of the more important things that you're going to be using, so I have quite a few different film stocks here, many of which that I haven't shot with before. Let's see what I got in here. I got some Fujifilm Superia, I have some Kodak Color Plus, I have one roll of Kodak Portra 400, I have a couple of rolls of film from Lomography, including their color negative film, their Lomochrome Purple, as well as their Lomochrome Metropolis Tokyo as well. I have a roll of Kodak Ektachrome in here, and I have a couple of rolls of different black and white films as well, including some Ilford HP5 and a roll of Street Candy, it looks like. Now I'm keeping all of my film in this clear Ziploc baggie because with TSA, it's a good idea to try to get your film hand checked. So I figured I'd try to make it as easy as possible on the TSA agents by having everything consolidated into one easy to see package. Now, even though I'm planning on primarily shooting film for this trip, I am still planning on bringing a digital camera and several lenses with me just in case I want to be a little more trigger happy. For my main setup, I'm planning on using this, my Sony a7C with my Sony Zeiss 16-35 f4 lens. I'll also be bringing my Sony 24mm f1.4 G Master lens and my Sony Zeiss 55mm f1.A prime lens as well. I'm primarily bringing this 24mm lens for low light and astrophotography, and I'm bringing the 55mm lens for portraits of my friends. Now I picked my a7C over the a7 III that I'm shooting this video with for a couple of different reasons. I find that it's a little bit smaller and lighter to carry, and it has a lot of really nice video features that the a7 III doesn't have, like a fully articulating screen and better video autofocus as well. I will miss the better ergonomics, the larger viewfinder, and the dual SD card slot in the a7 III, but I find that all of the features that this tiny little camera has to offer do outweigh those benefits. Now, it may still seem like I'm bringing a lot of camera equipment with me on this trip, and I definitely am, but I have shaved off a good bit of weight by leaving these two lenses at home. These are my two heaviest lenses. I have the Sony 24-105 G lens, as well as the Sony 70-300 G lens, and both of these are monsters. This 24-105 is actually probably my favorite lens to use when traveling because it's so versatile, but I decided to save the weight and just stick with a couple of prime lenses as well as my wide-angle zoom. Now I am bringing a few more cameras with me as well, but these are primarily video cameras and they are significantly smaller, so I never have a problem fitting these into my camera bag. I have my Sony ZV-1 here. This is my primary vlog camera because it is so small and light and it still gives a nice 4K video. I also have a couple of action cameras that I'm bringing with me, like my GoPro Hero 9 Black, as well as my Insta360 1X2 cameras as well. And then lastly, and just for fun, I like to bring a little Instax camera with me just for a little bit of fun with my friends. So how am I planning on packing all of this camera equipment into my camera backpack? Well, you can access the main compartment here by unzipping the back. And you can see that the backpack is divided into two main sections here. This lower section actually contains a removable camera cube, so why don't we open it up first? So as you can see, just like with my LoPro, I have a bunch of dividers here to keep my cameras safe. So let me show you how I'm going to get everything fit into here. For my digital cameras, I'm going to be putting my a7C in this main pocket here. This can also be accessed by a side access door here that you can unzip. Now it should be noted that this door has a zip pocket here, and I usually use this to store all of my spare batteries. Also with this main pocket, I can store my Rode Video Micro as well. And then I could take my 55mm and 24mm prime lenses and put them in these pockets here. And then the other three pockets I'll be using for film camera equipment. I'll store my Canonette in this pocket here. My 135mm lens can fit in here. And my smaller Minolta lens can go right in here. And I could choose to leave this open or zip it up. And for safekeeping, I'm going to zip it up right now. Now you may be wondering where I'm planning on storing my X700, which is the primary camera that I'm going to be shooting with. Usually I'll actually have this camera clipped onto my capture clip on the shoulder strap so I have easy access to it. But if I need to store it in the bag for any reason, I'll actually store it in this top section that can also be accessed through the roll top. So for demonstration purposes, let's put it up there. I'll also have my Instax camera stored up here as well. And then that's really the only camera equipment that I keep in this top pocket for the most part. The rest of it can be used for hiking essentials. Also, I'll quickly note that this backpack does have a laptop and a tablet sleeve here, and I do travel with my 10-inch iPad Pro, and I'll usually keep that in here as well. So let's go ahead and zip the bag up, and then we'll talk about what I throw in the roll top. So one of my favorite things about this bag is that it has this expandable roll top. You can unclip this here and roll the top up, and this allows you to actually expand the bag if you need to store more things like more clothes or anything like that. I usually don't have to do too much, but it's nice knowing that I can if I need the space. Now in this top section, I will store all of my film. I also have plenty of room to fit a light jacket or a hoodie, some hiking snacks, and a headlamp or a flashlight. Then you can simply roll the pack down, adjust the belt clip to where you need it, and there we go. That is a nice full camera bag. Now for some of my smaller cameras like my ZV-1 here and my GoPro, I actually usually keep those cameras in my pockets while I'm walking around, so that way I can easily pull them out if I need to shoot a video. But if I do need to keep those cameras anywhere on the bag, I'll actually store these in this front pocket here. So this long zipper here opens up and I can actually store my ZV-1, my GoPro, my 1X2, and even its little selfie stick all in this pocket here. I will say when doing that, it's not the most pretty. You can sort of see where all of the sharp edges for all those cameras are sticking out, and there's not a whole lot of padding, which is why I definitely don't put any of my super expensive camera gear in this pocket. Sometimes I'll actually store those cameras either in this roll top or in this back pocket here, or sometimes even if I'm not bringing my microphone, I'll actually keep one of those cameras tucked away here with my A7C. So that's how I'm packing my camera bag for this upcoming trip. Am I packing too little? Probably not. Am I packing too much? Most definitely. Let me know down in the comments how you would pack your camera bag for a hiking trip like the one that I'm going on. I'm really excited to be traveling to all of these different national parks with family and friends and to be trying out some new film stocks for my film photography, and I really hope you'd come along for the ride. If you haven't yet, I would greatly appreciate it if you would consider subscribing to the channel so we can help our channel grow. And also don't forget to ring that notification bell so that way you can be notified when each episode comes out from that trip. You can also follow me on Instagram where I'll be posting some Instagram stories of the trip as well at TQM_GG. Thank you all so much for watching this episode, and until next time, cheers.